My name tag is the only one that looks like this. With quivering hands, Lily handed me a name tag that proudly said middle school graduate. Then she broke down in tears right then. I yelled Alex's name as I barged into the location where the business entrance ceremony was taking place. A man moved forward from the chaos and approached me. I assumed this was Alex. His face virtually shouted suspicion and untrustworthiness. "Did you make this?" I questioned Isili as I thrust the name tag in his face. As though he understood, Alex nodded. "Oh, I see what's happening. You're Lily's relatives, correct? She must have gotten her name tag by accident. Probably a practical joke." "You believe you can dismiss this as a joke at this point?" I insisted. "Now relax. You won't make it in the working world if you let something like this to worry you. Please ask Lily to return here so we can receive her correct name tag. That's all I have to say." I think I heard my patience snapping at that very moment. This man is not going to get away with it. I murmured softly, "Call the board," as Alex turned his back on me and began to leave. "After this, all of you are fired." Alex would go through his own hell for daring to make fun of my darling granddaughter. Henry Grant is my name. My age is 62. I would have been retired and leading a peaceful life a generation ago, but I continue to work full-time. It's not because I need the money, let me be clear. My wife and I have saved enough money to live well in retirement, and all 3 of my children are self-sufficient and have their own families. I don't retire for the straightforward reason that I can't bear to leave the career I've dedicated decades of my life to. I appear to be a workaholic by nature. When I was younger, work was on my mind all the time, even while I slept. Every time I went on a lengthy vacation, I would eventually become sick. I therefore used to work through my vacation days. These days, I strive to avoid working extra and assign chores to my subordinates. My wife and kids chastise me for going overboard, so I'm coming in on the weekends less frequently. Although having less time for work is a little annoying. I am thankful that I still have a job that needs me at my age. Luckily, my health has always been terrific. I've never had a serious illness, even at my age. I intend to continue working until my body fails, even though the younger people at work undoubtedly wish I had retired by now. Even a workaholic like me has personal issues these days. One of them is Lily, my granddaughter. The only daughter among my 6 grandchildren is Lily. I've always had a soft spot for Lily, which may be uncouth of a grandfather to admit. I am aware that I like her to the others. I covertly give Lily spending money or purchase small items for her, even while my wife chastises me. I'm not planning on stopping. I believe that I was being discreet, but in the end, the family knew that I was partial to Lily. The other grandchildren stopped griping, presumably accepting that I would always spoil her. Because Lily is a girl, my wife and the others believe that I do it with her. But it isn't totally accurate. Yes, I was ecstatic to have my first granddaughter, but Lily's personality is what makes me especially protective of her. Lily's shyness and introversion have always been there. She used to hide behind her mother during family get-togethers since she is awful at public speaking. Lily remained to herself, while the other grandchildren were outgoing and frequently requested games or gifts. In a household full of gregarious people, I always appreciated her calm demeanor. That's why I couldn't resist giving Lily more attention, even in the face of my wife's disapproval. This year, Lily finally became a working adult when she landed her job. The whole family celebrated her milestone. Unfortunately, her new life didn't start smoothly. Lily told me everything after returning home from her company's entrance ceremony. Lily's employer was a company in the welfare industry. It operated paid nursing homes, group homes, and provided in-home care services. At the company, Lily was hired as a welfare service worker. For Lily, who struggled with interpersonal communication, the job search process had been nothing short of torturous. Whenever she felt even the slightest pressure from the other party, she would freeze, unable to find her words. She had lost count of how many rejection notices she had received. However, during one particular interview, she somehow managed to express herself without stumbling. It was likely thanks to the interviewer, who listened attentively and made her feel at ease. Indeed, luck often played a role in job interviews, depending on the demeanor of the interviewer. Eventually, Lily passed the only interview where she could speak comfortably and was offered a position. But her hopes soon turned to disappointment. The cause was an incident at a social gathering for new hires before the official entrance ceremony. The gathering was intended to help the new employees build rapport, but it was there that Lily caught the attention of Alex, the HR officer in charge of training new employees. As the organizer of the event, Alex stood before the new hires and began to speak. "All right, everyone. May I have your attention? My name is Alex, and I'm the HR officer responsible for new employee training. Think of me as the organizer of this little gathering. If you have any problems, feel free to come to me. Now then, let me start by saying congratulations on your job offers." The other new hires around Lily responded with words of gratitude, prompting her to hurriedly bow and thank him as well. Alex seemed pleased with the reaction and continued, "Okay, let's get to know each other better. After all, you're going to be colleagues. Let's do some introductions. Your name, school background, motivation for joining the company, and anything else you'd like to add. Let's start with the person over there." The first person he pointed to looked visibly nervous, but Lily was even more anxious. Introducing herself in front of strangers for Lily. This was an enormous hurdle. However, it was an unavoidable step as she embarked on her new life. Recalling the practice she had done for interviews, Lily mustered her courage. Finally, it was her turn. "My name is Lily. I hold a high school equivalency certificate. I want to gain skills and experience here to become someone who can help others in need. I may cause some trouble at times, but I look forward to working with all of you." As Lily finished her trembling introduction and bowed, the room erupted in applause. She had somehow managed to do it. Just like everyone else, relieved, Lily lifted her head and was about to take her seat. But one person wouldn't let her. It was Alex from the HR department. "Wait a moment, Lily. May I ask you something?" With a mischievous grin, he continued. "A high school equivalency certificate. Does that mean you didn't graduate from high school?" "Yes, I dropped out," Lily replied hesitantly. Her hesitation was understandable. Lily had been unable to attend school during her high school years due to severe bullying by her classmates. After spending some time at home due to school refusal, she eventually decided to leave school entirely. Although her grades were not poor, and both the school and her teachers encouraged her to transfer to another high school, Lily refused. Her painful experiences had left her fearful of any environment filled with people her age. After dropping out, she studied independently and passed a high school equivalency exam. Despite struggling through the job search process, she had finally secured a position. But Alex, unaware of Lily's past, continued to press her mercilessly. "Oh, so you dropped out of high school. What a waste. Getting in and then quitting. Why? Why did you drop out?" "Well, that's... I see. It must be something you can't talk about. Did you get expelled for causing trouble, Lily? You've got a wild side, huh?" "No, that's not true. I left voluntarily because of, family circumstances." Blushing with embarrassment and anxiety, Lily denied his accusations. Alex nodded knowingly as if satisfied with her reaction. "Ah, I see. Family circumstances, huh? Well, that can't be helped. Sorry for prying. Now then, could you redo your introduction?" "Huh? What do you mean?" Lily asked. "Did you forget? Name, school background, motivation. You skipped your school background earlier, so let's try again. What was the last school you graduated from? What middle school did you attend?" With a smirk, Alex forced Lily to redo her introduction. Everyone at the gathering turned their eyes toward her. Trembling uncontrollably, Lily had no choice but to comply with Alex's demand. "I'm Lily. I'm from Seaside Middle School. Nice to meet you." When Lily managed to utter her final words, Alex clapped theatrically and egged on the other new hires to applaud as well. After that, the atmosphere during the gathering changed, and Lily was treated like someone to be avoided. The experience brought back memories of the hell she had endured in high school. It left her utterly crushed, but she chose not to share it with her family. She couldn't bear to disappoint them, especially after they had celebrated her job offer with so much joy. Then came the day of the entrance ceremony. Following the ceremony, a group training session for all new employees was scheduled. There was no doubt Alex, the HR trainer, would be there. Remembering the incident at the gathering, Lily felt a heavy weight in her chest, but skipping the ceremony on her first day at the company was out of the question. That morning, her entire family came out to see her off. "Lily, congratulations on starting your new job. If anything pleasant happens, tell me right away, okay? No matter what, I'm always on your side." "Thanks, Grandpa, but I'll be fine. Well, I'm off now." Encouraging herself with a quiet, "I'll be fine. I'll be fine," Lily headed to the entrance ceremony. When she arrived at the venue, she saw many other new hires milling about nervously. Among the faces, she spotted some from the gathering that day. It appeared that after checking in and receiving their name tags, they were directed to take their assigned seats. Lily joined the line for check-in, feeling tense, and gave her name to a young staff member who seemed to be part of HR. The staff member smiled warmly. "Congratulations," they said before searching through the pile of name tags for Lily. But no matter how much they searched, Lily's name tag couldn't be found. The staffer repeatedly asked for her name and cross-checked the employee list, drawing attention from others in the process. As someone who hated being the center of attention, Lily stood frozen in discomfort. Then, from the crowd, the last person she wanted to see appeared. It was Alex from HR. Well, isn't it, Lily? Is something wrong?" "Yes, they can't seem to find my name tag." "Oh, that's right. I completely forgot. I have your name tag with me. I kept it to give it to you personally. Sorry for the surprise." Alex beckoned Lily to step behind the reception desk. From his pocket, he pulled out a name tag and handed it to her. Suspicious of his behavior, but not wanting to appear rude, Lily accepted the name tag and thanked him. "Thank you. Wait, what is this?" The moment she looked at it, she was speechless. The name tag Alex handed her didn't have her name on it. It read, "Middle School Graduate." As Lily stared in shock, Alex, clearly pleased with her reaction, sneered. "That's good enough for you, isn't it? You should be grateful I made a name tag for a middle school grad like you. If you don't like it, just go home." Humiliated and overwhelmed, Lily ran out of the ceremony venue without looking back. She made it home barely 5 minutes after arriving at the ceremony. When she returned, she came straight to my room and tearfully told me everything about what had happened at the gathering and the entrance ceremony. Only my name tag is just like this. With trembling hands, Lily handed me the name tag that said "Middle School Graduate" and broke down crying right there. "You did well to endure it, Lily. Leave the rest to me," I said, placing my hand gently on Lily's head as she lay on the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. It seemed it would take some time for her to calm down. I called my wife to take care of Lily, then had one of my subordinates bring the car around and headed straight to the entrance ceremony venue. Though I was stopped at the reception desk, I pushed past them and stormed into the venue. The ceremony was in progress, but I didn't care. I shouted at the top of my lungs, "Alex, come out here right now." The room fell silent for a moment, followed by a wave of murmurs through the crowd. A man walked toward me. This must be Alex. He had an untrustworthy face that practically screamed suspicious. I am Alex, and who might you be? If you're here to cause trouble, I'll call the police, he said. Ignoring Alex's question, I held out the name tag. Alex looked at it and nodded as if everything made sense. Oh, I see now. You must be Lily's family. That name tag must have been handed to her by mistake. It's probably just someone's prank. Honestly, these young folks today are so fragile, running to their families over something like this. You think you can dismiss this as just a prank? I shot back. Come on, calm down. If she's going to crumble over something this minor, she'll never survive in the working world. I'll make sure she gets her proper name tag. Tell her to come back here now, if you'll excuse me. At that moment, I swear I heard the sound of my patient snapping. This guy wasn't getting away with this. As Alex turned his back on me and started to walk away, I spoke quietly. Call the board. You're all fired. What are you saying? Are you senile or something? Alex snapped. I still hadn't answered your first question, kid. My name is Henry Grant. I run your parent company. Let me make this clear. It wasn't an empty bluff. I spent decades in the welfare industry and currently oversee multiple companies as their CEO. The company Lily joined happens to be one of my subsidiaries. Out of respect for Lily's wish to secure a job on her own, I had stayed out of her job hunt. But this harassment, that was a different story. Intervening in subsidiary affairs is something I can easily do. As soon as I introduced myself, the executives seated at the VIP section began to stir. Alex, who initially didn't believe me, grew pale as he sought his superiors. Panic. Wait, you're joking, right? You're the CEO of the parent company. That can't be. Alex, what are you doing? Apologize to this man immediately. A flustered older man from the VIP section rushed over to Alex, berating him. I recognized him. It was George, an executive at the subsidiary. Judging by his attitude toward Alex, they were likely father and son. George, is this your son? I asked. Yes, Mr. Grant. I deeply apologize for the trouble he's caused. He's an unworthy child, and I ask for your forgiveness. George, visibly terrified, bowed deeply and forced Alex to bow as well, his hand pressed firmly on the back of his son's head. As both apologized profusely, I continued, George, take a look at this. My granddaughter left for her entrance ceremony and came back with this. How would you feel if your daughter was treated this way? Would an apology be enough for you? This is unthinkable. Alex did this, my son. I've also heard that during the social gathering, Alex relentlessly questioned my granddaughter about her academic background. It's true she dropped out of high school, but our company policy treats high school equivalency as equivalent to a high school diploma. Isn't that correct? I paused for a moment, sweeping my gaze across the room, glaring at everyone before continuing. My granddaughter was hired under the same conditions as those with high school diplomas. Yet at the entrance ceremony, she was handed this tasteless name tag. A company that allows employees to harass young hires unchecked is frankly rotten to the core. You'd better look forward to the next personnel reassignment order. As I glared at George and his son, the other executives began to gather around. It seemed they had realized this incident might have consequences for them too, and were eager to address it. Even the new hires attending the ceremony were watching the situation unfold. The ceremony itself had already become a secondary concern. Turning to the gathered executives, I addressed them firmly. I trust you all heard me. Alex here is unfit to remain in this company. He's mocked my granddaughter's academic background and created this vulgar name tag. I held up the offensive name tag for everyone to see. A low murmur spread through the crowd as they took in the sight. It seemed the executives were eager to distance themselves, insisting they had no part in Alex's actions. Even so, allowing Alex's behavior to go unchecked makes them complicit. Today, my granddaughter happened to be the target. But what if it had been other employees? Would you have listened to them the same way, Or would you have swept it under the rug because the perpetrator was an executive's son? That's not. You can't deny the possibility. Moving forward, I will personally investigate whether there are other employees who've been harassed. Based on those findings, I'll decide how to handle Alex and anyone else involved. That's all. I'd informed the gathered executives of my intentions and prepared to leave the venue. As I turned to go, a voice from one of the new hires rose up in the hall. "Excuse me, Mr. Grant, I have something I need to tell you." Alex slumped next to his father, reacting sharply upon seeing the young female employee who had spoken up. Sensing this was something Alex didn't want revealed, I decided to listen. Sure enough, the woman exposed more of Alex's disgraceful behavior. She recounted how, during the new hire gathering, Alex had asked her inappropriate personal questions about her measurements and touched her inappropriately. Later, he had tried to invite her out for drinks, but she declined out of fear. Then Alex had threatened her, saying, "I'm the son of an executive. If you cross me, you'll regret it." Luckily, another new hire happened to show up at the right moment, preventing the situation from escalating further. However, the woman had carried her unease into the entrance ceremony. "Damn it, that woman. I told her not to tell anyone." Alex shouted. "What have you done?" "It seems my granddaughter wasn't Alex's only victim," I said firmly. "I'll be conducting a thorough investigation of all employees, including new hires. I'll leave one of my subordinates here to ensure no one intimidates the staff or tampers with evidence. Anyone caught covering this up will be fired immediately." With that, I finally left the entrance ceremony venue and returned home. Later, I heard that the situation spiraled into complete chaos. More victims of Alex's harassment came forward, and at one point, George and Alex even got into a physical altercation. As promised, I conducted a thorough investigation, interviewing employees to uncover the truth. The results were damning, and I took decisive action against Alex and others at the subsidiary. First, Alex, the main culprit who had hurt Lily, was fired. It turned out that, beyond the woman who had spoken up during the ceremony, numerous other women had suffered similar harassment at his hands. Using his status as the son of an executive, Alex had repeatedly targeted female colleagues and subordinates, behaving as he pleased without fear of consequences. The reports from multiple victims left his father, George, unable to shield him any longer. Ultimately, George himself was also dismissed from the company. It wasn't just Alex who faced consequences. Following the investigation, the inquiry revealed cases of harassment and abuse of power by other employees, particularly toward younger staff members. Several employees were reassigned or faced salary reductions. A few individuals were also removed from their executive positions. In the wake of this large-scale personnel shakeup, I sent trusted subordinates to the subsidiary to take over key roles. This was part of a deliberate effort to remove the corrupt elements and bring in fresh leadership, with the goal of revitalizing the company. I'm confident that my subordinates will transform the subsidiary into a more transparent and supportive workplace. As for Alex, he'd been engaged to a woman introduced to him by his father. However, the exposure of his malicious harassment toward female employees caused the engagement to be called off. Having lost both his job and his fiancée, Alex now reportedly spends his nights indulging in aimless partying and heavy drinking. His initial employment at our subsidiary had been secured solely through his father's connections. Having never gone through a proper job search, it's doubtful that Alex will be able to find a new position on his own. He will likely end up living off his aging father for the rest of his life. Meanwhile, I continue to work energetically as always. The day I barged into the subsidiary without an appointment earned me a severe scolding from my subordinates. However, I suspect I avoided being pushed into retirement, because this incident was for none other than my granddaughter, Lily. Everyone in my company knows how much I dote on my granddaughter. When I explained the full extent of my actions, even the executives who initially criticized my outburst understood and shared in my indignation. Some of the senior staff, who had known Lily since she was little, were so outraged that they said, "Should we just shut down that subsidiary?" As for Lily, she has been going to work every day since the entrance ceremony. The family urged her to take a break, worried about her well-being, but Lily firmly refused, leaving the house each morning with cheerful energy. Concerned that she might be pushing herself too hard, I couldn't help but make a suggestion. "Lily, isn't it difficult for you to stay at the company after the scene I caused? If you'd like, why don't you come work for my company instead?" "No, Grandpa. I'm fine. I'll keep working at my current company. Thanks to you, the bad managers are gone, and everyone's happy about it." Apparently, the women who had suffered harassment from Alex were incredibly grateful to Lily. Whenever Lily finds herself the target of curious or judgmental stares, those women always step in to shield her. Thanks to their support, Lily has been able to avoid isolation at work and focus on her responsibilities. "That's great to hear. It's reassuring to know they're looking out for you," I said, relieved. But to my surprise, Lily shook her head. Then, with a serious expression, she looked at me and said, "I've always relied on others to protect me. Whether it was you, my friends, or my coworkers, but I can't keep depending on others. I need to learn to protect myself. If I don't, I'll just keep running away like I did in high school." "Lily, you are—" I started to say, but she cut me off. "That's why I'm going to become a stronger person. Strong enough that my family can feel at ease watching over me. So, Grandpa, keep watching me, okay?" With that, she hurriedly finished getting ready for work as if to hide her embarrassment and left the house with a radiant smile. As I watched her retreating figure, I felt my eyes well up with pride and emotion.